Hey there, I want to tell you about an alternative choice for hosting other than using Bluehost. I'm a big fan of having several different options, and I never like to only recommend one choice to my students. So I searched around and spoke with many different hosting companies to see who would serve my students the best. This resulted in me partnering up with SiteGround and them offering a 60% exclusive discount to my students. It's a win-win for all, so I agreed to partner up with them. But first, let me tell you what I like about SiteGround. What attracted me to them was their awesome support, 24/7 technical support, which is huge when you're just starting out. Also, they have a 99.9% uptime, making sure that my students are happy and it keeps my website reliable. Now let's start looking into their plans. They offer up to 3 different plans, each with more features than the next. If you're looking just to start something with bare bones and maybe just experimenting with a website, I would recommend going with the startup plan. However, if you're ready to get serious with your website and are planning to do something more long-term with your website, I would recommend going with the Grow Big plan or even the Go Geek plan. Now let's talk about the specifics of each of these plans. But before we jump into that, first I want to talk about something very important, which is the pricing. So as you can see, the startup plan pricing and also the Grow Big plan pricing are very competitive with Bluehost pricing. If I were to personally choose, I would go with the Grow Big plan. It has a lot more extra features that are helpful to have right when you start, and it's only $3 more per month. Just remember that the cheapest option isn't always the best option. Now let's look into the different features of each. The first I want to talk about is the number of monthly visitors and web space. As you can tell, the startup plan has a pretty decent startup, but the Grow Big plan has way more than double. So that's awesome when you can have, 20 up to 25,000 per month. And if you are starting to have a more serious website, you kind of need to reach those type of numbers. Now let's start running through the other different features. So you get a free domain name, which is awesome since that just saves you about $10 a year right off the bat. You get free setup and transfer. So if you're transferring from a different host to this one, they make it super easy. You have unlimited emails, so you can start having professional looking emails directly to your domain. And also you get that 30-day money back, which is always important since I would only recommend something if you could try it, and then if you didn't like it, you could get your money back. That's super important. Next, let's talk about the Super Cacher tool. So my course will cover the topic of caching, but essentially it is relating to improving the speed of your website. So have you ever been to a website that takes forever to load? It's super annoying and frustrating to deal with a slow website, but the Super Cacher tool will help improve the speed of your website. The Grow Big plan gives you access to all 3 levels of SiteGround Super Cache tool, so you increase the chances of your site running at optimal speed. Next is the backup. So with the Grow Big plan, you get up to 30 copies of your backup versus just 1 copy. And this is important since you want to be able to have stored backups of your site just in case anything happens, you get hacked or whatever the case may be, something causing your website to go down, because that results in loss of customers, loss of trust, ultimately loss of money. And also the Grow Big plan allows you to have restore services. So if your site were to go down, you could use these restore services and get your site back up very quickly. Next is the support. So SiteGround offers 24/7 support, and honestly it doesn't get better than that. You have someone helping you out, available to help you out every single day. As a Grow Big plan user, you'll also get priority support as well, which means that you'll get answers to your questions lightning fast. The last thing I want to mention is with the Grow Big plan, you get a free SSL certificate, which is required when you're doing e-commerce. Otherwise, you'll need to find a provider to sell you an SSL certificate elsewhere. All in all, SiteGround is a fantastic hosting service and provider, and I want you to take advantage of their awesome 60% off exclusively for my students. Go ahead and get started on signing up for hosting to have your website up and running today.